What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven here with your afternoon snap, and today we're going to be talking about Cull Obsidian. I did not do a video this season breaking down how to spend your resources as a free-to-play player and overviewing all of the different spotlight caches, and this is kind of the de facto video for that as well. Basically, my recommendation for the season is get Cull Obsidian, skip all the other cards. And if you've got a bunch of extra resources or you really like discard, you could consider picking up some of those other cards. But as I described last season, generally, if you want to make the most of your resources, you probably want to save them so that you're only targeting one new card each season. And for this season, I think the best new card is just Cull Obsidian. It's really good, and it slides really easily into what I think are the two best decks right now. The first one is one that I showcased the other day. I think the video was titled The Best Deck in Marvel Snap because the top players on the Global Infinite leaderboard were all playing this list, Junk Bounce. And this list works really well with Cull Obsidian because it has a bunch of one-cost cards, and it's got Zabu to make Cull even cheaper. So this is a really good Cull deck. You do have to cut a one-cost card in order to fit Cull in. It's going to be Spider-Ham. All of the other one-cost cards are really good when you can bounce them and replay them multiple times. I do want to talk about this game that we're looking at on the screen here for a second as well. This is a little bit of an awkward position because I don't want to take priority from my opponent. So my plan was to fill up the vault here so that way I don't actually accidentally take priority and can still use Shang-Chi if I need to on the final turn of the game. So that was basically what I was thinking. Kind of puts me into a little bit of a dicey situation though here because now I have filled up the vault and that's going to give my opponent a lot of flexibility. I probably could have played like Forge just to Sokovia. I don't think that that was really hurting me too much and would have given me a lot more flexibility. But regardless, this is where we are at now. I'm filled up in the vault and we've got two more turns. This was just a natural limbo that spawned randomly here. And again, I'm not playing to limbo this turn because I don't want to take priority. And I would have taken priority here had I played the demon, and then Shang-Chi would have been unplayable. But I think that I'm still going to wind up not playing Shang-Chi because I draw Cull Obsidian on the final turn and get to add 16 points into limbo, which is pretty sweet. And I've definitely already won in Sokovia. If my opponent moves Vision out of the vault, then I'm winning in that location, which means they have to draw Mjolnir. They can still win in Sokovia if they draw Stormbreaker though, so this game's a little bit dicey. I possibly could have retreated, but we're checking out Cull Obsidian here now. The other thing to point out is that Sokovia made me discard my Werewolf by Night. I think that that is the main card in this deck, and it made my opponent discard their Jane Foster. So we're both not really operating on all cylinders here. My opponent's going to finish things off with a Wong into Mjolnir plus Moving Vision, which is a pretty powerful play. That's 14 power. However, Demon plus Cull Obsidian is 16 power, and I'm just saying like total power output here, but we beat my opponent by 1 point in limbo. Here's another game that I had, which was really fun. On the penultimate turn, I used Beast to return the Hood and the Void to my hand. And then on the final turn of the game, because of Zabu, I'm going to be able to play Cull plus Shang-Chi. However, I need to play Cull in a location with a one-cost card, and the only one-cost card that I can play alongside that is the -3 power Hood. Still, that gives me 7 points in Eternity range and allows me to battle for all 3 locations, so I thought it seemed worth it to go for this one for 8 cubes. And we will see how it lands here with my opponent only battling for Eternity range. It means I am going to win in Muir Island and the Hellfire Club, most likely. But this is enough power from Cull that I'm also going to be able to grab the win in that 3rd location. And the other place that Cull slides right into is, of course, going to be in Lockjaw Thanos. This is my list that I'm playing. Wave seems to be the most flexible card in the deck, and I'm also kind of tempted to cut Jeff for Scarlet Witch just for Valentine's Day week, but regardless, this shouldn't be any surprise if you've been paying attention to Marvel Snap. Cull is really, really good in Thanos Lockjaw. Cull was actually initially data mined as requiring an Infinity Stone at the location that you played him, though I'm glad they made him a little bit more flexible. I still think that his true home is going to be in these Thanos Lockjaw lists, at least until something gets changed in Thanos Lockjaw, because Cull is just going to make that deck even stronger. One other update that I wanted to bring up in this video, like I said, this is my free-to-play resource update guide for the month of February. I purchased Skaar with tokens, and I'm pretty happy about this purchase. I literally just bought Skaar, I don't know, an hour ago or something. I was refreshing my shop every 8 hours so that I could eventually make this video to say that I purchased Skaar. But I think that as a free-to-play player, one of the better uses for tokens is occasionally going to be using it to buy last month's season pass card and remain competitive, if that is what you're looking to do. You don't need Skaar right now. Miss Marvel is probably actually a better season pass card that still has not been in Spotlight caches, though it should be in Spotlight caches in like a month from now, so at this point I feel like I've already waited long enough. I'll just wait one more month, but I think Skaar is really, really good, and I liked this deck. I think that Thanos is a lot of fun to play, and now with Cull and buying Skaar, I basically didn't play Thanos all last month, despite really, really liking it in December, because I didn't like playing a suboptimal version of the deck without Skaar. So now I can play Thanos Lockjaw as a free-to-play player, and Cull Obsidian is a big part of that. Briefly forgot about the Morbius in this game, but my opponent isn't going to be able to grow it past the Cull, and will be able to grab the win. I wanted to finish off just with one little clip to showcase the power of Skaar. Not that this is news to anyone that isn't free to play, but now it is also news for free-to-play players. They can play Skaar, you can put cards into Lockjaw and play Skaar at the same time, which I think is just really powerful, and in my mind justified 6,000 tokens. I do also have to say, I have more tokens than most free-to-play players. There is a bug crawling on the lens of my camera right now, so if you see a bug pop up on the screen in just a second. Okay, I think it's going away. There's just a stink bug like crawling around my lens. You might not have as many tokens as I do, but I think that it has to be used sparingly, right? It can't be something that's done every once in a while. I thought it was useful for Skaar because it's going to allow me to play this deck that I enjoy for the next month and a half or whatever. And that's something that I just wanted to draw attention to, because you might see Skaar in some of my upcoming content, despite the fact that I am free to play. I was able to afford that. But that is going to be it for me with today's video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.